Alright, so today we're going to be doing a sculpture of our paw, and you can see I have two references here. I'll refer to the silhouette reference as one, and the actual picture of the paw as two. So, we're going to choose to do a Wolverine paw print today in honor of our school mascot, and you all will be choosing whatever you chose for your spirit animal, and we'll go from there. So now a couple of things. One, we're going to use a good portion of our clay as the base. And a lot of what we're going to do is going to be just the surface that the paw is on. Now you'll notice that, and my tray was a little dirty, that when you press it down, the side that you press on, no matter how you press it, is really lumpy. And the side on the other side of the tray is going to be a lot flatter. So we're going to do that a couple times until both sides are pretty flat, and we're not going to press it down again because the tray side is flatter. Okay, we're going to make it a shape that you like. You could make it an oval, you could make it a rectangle, etc. But make it a shape. Now it doesn't have to be a perfect shape because as you squeeze on it and do your sculpture, it is going to change shape, and so it doesn't have to be perfect yet. Okay, it should not be any. Should be kind of thin. Okay, this side is probably the right thickness, about a half an inch about a half inch is good. A little thinner than that's going to be a problem for when we store it. All right, so the next part is going to be drawing your paw print on this surface. And we're probably going to do it about the size of our fist, by the way. So mine's a little bit bigger just so you can see it. So we're going to draw the paw print in here, and the Wolverine paw print has sort of a triangular top, round bottom. We may want to figure out where is the center line so we can really do this right from the middle. We're just going to sketch this in, right? And then we have 4 toes, one on this side, one on this side, one on this side, one on this side. And then we have the claws, and the claws are actually really long. I'm going to put where those guys are there. This drawing is just to see where our paw print goes. We're not going to really use it that much. Or it's really our paw, because instead of making a print where we go down, and actually we could do a couple of different things. For instance, if you wanted it to be a paw print and make it the design, you could carve out the shape of the paw, but then the issue is going to be we really have to make the edges of this really nice. You're going to really have to use the tool in a way that smooths out and creates a nice design for the actual print. And then you probably will have to do some sort of print on the inside to make that interesting, because this is going to be a several-day project. So let's say you did that on each one of these and cut it out. That's one possibility. The possibility that I would like most of you to try out is instead to make a sculpture of the paw. And so we really need to make sure we're looking at the image of the paw, and we'll notice that just like our hand, the Wolverine or the bear or whatever paw you choose has muscles. So there's going to be lumps in that. And you can just take little pieces of clay, round them out a little bit, and squish them down. And then you're going to sculpt them with your tool. Make the edge kind of nice and sharp so you can see it. And you may have to add some more, but we're going to build it up piece by piece. So for instance, for this, we might make a little worm that's kind of that shape, and then we'll squish it down so it sticks to the clay, and then we'll round it out so it pops out nicely. And then we may need to sculpt it, so maybe it's a little bit rounder, so we do that. But we want to keep this edge, and you can really just draw it with the side of your tool. Popsicle sticks actually work really well for this. Now if your clay is wet, you don't have to do anything to make it stick. If it's not, you're going to put a little bit of water on your finger from the bowls that we have, and you're going to mix in the clay here, and then you can stick it on top and it'll stick really well. Okay, and that's kind of a way that we're going to use slip this time without having to have a mud bucket. Okay, we press it down, and with if there's water on there, it might slip a little bit, so we may want to wait, and we're going to build that paw in. All right, so we're going to build all these pieces. We may want to build up this part a little bit more. Keep that edge this time. Smooth out in between. And build up this paw print, or build up this paw. Little pieces work a lot better. It's easier to add. I feel it's easier to add in sculpture than it is to take away. Once you have to start carving things off, it kind of gets to be a hassle. So you can see this muscle is nice and round. And then we got to do this muscle. And you can sort of bring one into the other to make it have those shapes. And we'll look at this a little bit more after I work on it. We'll see how it goes. Okay, but remember, you can sculpt in by pressing, rounding, pushing, or sort of digging to make this shape the right shape for your print, right? And you can sort of see how that starts being a paw. And you start seeing how that bees the toes. Now for the nails will make a little worm, squish it down, maybe straight in and out unless you want to have it a curved feel. Really looking straight down on these will be straight. If you look at the side, it might be a little bit curvier. It's up to you whether you want that angle or not. And we can press it in to make the shape. Definitely want to press it to make the tips of the Wolverine claws sharp, because Wolverine claws are super, super sharp. They use that for self-defense, and probably, I don't really know, I need to do more research on Wolverines. Okay, and it probably goes into the toe, so you want to go ahead and add that until it comes together. Now, you also are probably going to add, after you do this, a little hair around the edges. Okay, and you can figure out how you want to do that. Maybe little jagged lines to make it a hairy paw. You can add the leg that comes out, so it looks like the leg or the arm is actually there. Okay, you can see how that starts to look like it's coming together. And you build it piece by piece. And then you're going to have to decide what you're going to do in the background. And we'll probably use some sort of designs like we did in our initial project. You can see how the light changes a little bit. And we'll go ahead and show you the paw that I'm looking at. And that's the paw. So you can see how these two are starting to look similar because I'm building up each shape in the paw. Okay? So, good luck, and we'll try that out.